In this video, we're going to discuss how a noun in the genitive case can function as the indirect object of a verb. So we'll call this genitive as indirect object. So we said previously that the direct object receives the action of a verb. The indirect object is the one to whom or for whom the action of the verb is done. So for example, we can say, I give the apple to the boy. I is the subject, give is the verb, so I am doing the verb, I is the subject, the doer of the verb. The apple is the direct object because the apple is receiving the action of giving, and to the boy, or rather the boy himself, is the indirect object. I give the apple to the boy. The subject verbs the direct object to the indirect object. In Greek, we can express indirect object through the genitive case. We said that the direct object is expressed through the accusative case. The indirect object will be expressed through the genitive case. I'm going to introduce a new word here so that we can have enough words to construct this sentence. We'll use o echthros, which is the enemy. So we can say ο άνθρωπος δίνει του εχθρού τον λαγό. Ο άνθρωπος δίνει του εχθρού, that's messy, του εχθρού τον λαγό. The person gives to the enemy the rabbit. So here we have the subject, here we have the verb, του εχθρού. This is a little messy, but this is the genitive. So the genitive, as we said, denotes indirect object, or it can denote indirect object. And ton lagó is the accusative, so it is the direct object. So the subject gives to the indirect object the direct object. Ο άνθρωπος δίνει του εχθρού τον λαγό. You can flip these around. You can say ο άνθρωπος δίνει τον λαγό του εχθρού. The problem with the genitive as the indirect object is that it is sometimes ambiguous as to whether or not it refers to the indirect object or if it refers to the possessor. Because this could mean the person gives the rabbit to the enemy, or it could mean the person gives the rabbit of the enemy. So right now, in this context, it is ambiguous as to what the function of echthru is, if it's the indirect object or if it's the possessor of of lagó. There is another way to express indirect object that is more common in these kinds of ambiguous scenarios, but we're not going to cover that right now, because right now all we're doing is trying to understand case and how case works. In instances where it's not ambiguous, the genitive can be used just fine. So we can have another one. We can say ο άνθρωπος μιλάει του λαγού. Ο άνθρωπος μιλάει του λαγού. the person talks to the rabbit. So this is here definitely the indirect object, because milao takes an indirect object. You have to talk to someone. So this is not ambiguous. So here we know for sure that that the noun in the genitive case is the indirect object. O anthropos milai tu lagou. And you can switch these around. You can say tu lagou milai. Oops. O anthropos. Tu lagou milai o anthropos. And when you put tu lagou in front, it just emphasizes tu lagou. And I know this is beyond the scope of just understanding case, this word order, but just so that you understand that case enables, as I said before, case enables you to move words around without losing the meaning of what you're trying to say, because the sense units are still intact regardless of the position. So as long as it's not awkward, and you will learn slowly what is awkward, what is not awkward, you can do these different things and have certain effect, like emphasis on certain parts of words or whatever. So we have covered the genitive as the possessor, we've covered the genitive as the indirect object. There is another way to express indirect object, but that is beyond the scope of this video, because this video is devoted to the genitive case. So leaving that for now, we're going to move on to the vocative case and its function.